Some of you know I'm a big watch fan, a bit of a watch collector, and so
He's Jewish?
Yeah.
Oh, I learned something today, and that watch he's wearing is shite, so I don't know what the crack is going on with this video. It's 8 minutes. Don't tell me it's 8 minutes of misery.
I wanted to go through with you how to build a watch collection from the very basics all the way on up to the very expensive. This video is sponsored by our friends over at Balance of Nature.
What is this music?
Today, we're not really going to get into the very, very expensive watch brands because, hell, you have to be really, really rich to afford those very expensive watch brands. Why don't we begin from the beginning? Why buy a nice watch in the first place? Now, the truth is, it ain't to keep the time, because if you really want a watch that keeps the time, your phone's going to do the best job.
What's the point then?
It's really to look...
Well, what's the point?
It's really to look nice. That's all it is. It's a piece of jewelry, essentially.
I actually disagree a wee bit with that because wristwatches weren't a man's accessory. Wristwatches were actually a female's accessory. We're talking about the 1800s, 1900s. Wristwatches were actually called wristlets. Bracelets that women wore, and a man didn't wear any... Man weren't... The male society... Or how do we say? Man, fuck's sake. Men weren't wearing wristwatches. They were wearing pocket watches that they have in their pocket. Pocket watches. Women were wearing wristlets, and those were the first real watches. A jewelry house made a piece of jewelry in a bracelet with a clock or a time hidden in the strap. I mean, Cartier in 1905 was the first one to really make a wristwatch as a wristwatch. It was actually considered very rude to have the time on your wrist.
Let's go through some of the parts of the watch. A bunch of different parts of the watch, and we can explain kind of what you're looking at. Number one, the dial. Okay, this is
Did you see that? That was John Travolta from, what do you call that movie?
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
what he thinks of when they think of the watch. The dial is the face of the watch. Some of them are quite beautiful. Some of them are very plain. But that is the thing that people are mostly thinking of when they think of the watch. They're thinking of the dial of the watch. Second, there's the case. Sort of the part that goes right around the dial of the watch. Sometimes you'll see engravings on the inside. Rolex very frequently will have an engraving on the case of the watch. Then there's the crystal. That's the glass or the acrylic that's on the top of the watch. So older watches tend to feature acrylic. If you get like an old Rolex from the 1970s, for example, it's very easily scratched. I remember the first Rolex that I ever got was...
Is this like ABC? What is a watch for dummies?
The basics of watch collecting with Ben Shapiro.
Like, this is well really mad basic, to be honest. What is a case? What is a crystal? What is a dial? Do you think there's...
Can't all be watch experts?
Well, I don't think you need to be an expert to know. Like, do you think my son of 2 years old... No, he doesn't know what 2 years...
Show him this video.
An older Rolex. It was very easy to scratch it, and I got irritated with it because every so often I'd just scratch it. I'd have to replace the lens. Then there is...
Incorrect. Let me explain. 1601, Rolex changed that to sapphire glass, not just Rolex, but several other brands. And yeah, plexiglass, you can actually very easy remove scratches.